Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanton is going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. But God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Bronson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Okay, well, we are in an interesting position now because I sit here on a podcast that I do, and I talk about the Yankees and the Knicks coming up soon, but I talk about the Yankees and I give my thoughts on them after every series, and a lot of the time, I like to think I'm pretty reasonable, especially I feel like I've been much more mature as a fan these last couple of years, especially this year. But a couple of episodes ago, after the Yankees lost the series to the Houston Astros, in the midst of one of their worst stretches in recent history, that lasted for about 2 months, I sat there and I said I was done. And I said, good riddance to this rotten squad. And I used all the adjectives I could use. And I said, this is not going to happen. And I'm not back in yet. But what the Yankees have done in these last number of games, let's just say, since that Houston series ended, it's like I'm circling around the hook with the bait. Haven't bit yet, but I'm circling around it. Everything is there that can be so far, that wants me to, like, it's screaming to me to buy back in. The Yankees are hot. They've won 5 in a row, 7 of 8, and 8 of 10. When you go back to Old Timers Day. Boston and Toronto and the other American League playoff contenders are all losing right now. So the Yankees have went from clinging on to that final wild card spot to being the first wild card team by 2 games, right? They are up 3 in the loss column over Seattle. Well, you go back to, I think the team's now looking on the outside looking in. They're up 5 in the loss column over Cleveland and Kansas City. They're up 3 in the loss over Seattle. They're up 2 now in the loss column over Boston, which is obviously now making this next series not less intense. Obviously, it's going to be the most intense thing ever. Their biggest series in a while, but it's going to make you more comfortable because now you're going into the series up 2 in the loss column. It's like, all right, well, we don't want to split, but if we do split, we can still stay ahead of them in the standings. The goal here should be to take at least 3 because you are in the Bronx. But you're up 2 over Boston and you're behind Toronto now by just 3 games in that loss column. I've kind of counted out the division. Not really looking at that as anything more than just a pipe dream, but they are right there. So it's gotten to a point now with the Yankees where what they do this weekend against the Boston Red Sox in these 4 games in the Bronx will kind of depict, it will tell you everything, right? It's going to tell you every single thing about this team. It'll either get the majority of the fan base, including myself, to buy back in, whether we're foolish to or not, or it will put me right back where I was a couple of episodes ago. And many other Yankees fans too, where it's like, all right, well, they'll probably make a wild card spot. Maybe they'll face a couple of terrible teams who slide into the playoffs because everybody makes it now. But when they finally face an actual contender, they'll be exposed for who they are, right? But as I've also maintained, even while I've been very pessimistic in recent weeks, I've always said, I've been saying it all year, they have the roster to get it done. On paper, this is a Yankees team who can do it. They have arguably the best roster in the sport. Maybe you could say the LA Dodgers have a better roster on paper, but you get the point. They have a top 3 roster in the sport. On paper, they've got no excuse. The sport has to be played. And so I guess that's what we're waiting for here. They can beat the Twins. They can beat the Rays, the Cardinals. Can they beat the teams that they're likely going to be seeing at one point or another in October? Can they beat the teams in their division that they need to jump in the standings? Can they beat the rival Boston Red Sox, who they've had trouble with? That's going to be the true test, right? They've passed the quiz. They've gotten hot again. Now they've got to take a test. So that's what I'm waiting for. Something's fucking distracting me outside here of the studio, and it's really bothering me. So excuse me if I look over to my right every couple of seconds. But this is a team that just needs to show me one more. Show me a good series against the Red Sox, and I'll admit I was wrong. So we'll see. So let's talk about this Yankees-Rays quick 2-game set. I don't want to make this episode much longer than it needs to be. But before we talk about the series itself, we had some interesting comments by the captain, Aaron Judge, before yesterday's game. I don't remember. But Aaron Boone went on The Fan, and he talked about Aaron Judge and the injury and when he'll play right field and how he's going to look. And I'm paraphrasing, but pretty straightforward. He said, Boone, that he doesn't think Judge is going to be 100% this year, and the arm won't be what prime Judge looks like. This kind of threw a lot of Yankees fans off. It was like, whoa, really? That's concerning. Like I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that comment, I was like, yeah, obviously, like, no shit. The guy had a flexor strain. We all thought it was a UCL problem at first. So like, yeah, I was kind of expecting that. I thought that was best case scenario. Who comes back and he's 70% in right field. So I didn't think we were ever getting 100% Judge back in right field. So I don't know why people were shocked by that. But then Aaron Judge comes out there, and as he's coming off the field in warm-ups and he's speaking to the media in his scrum in the dugout, and he's telling them, basically, I think he said, I don't know what he was talking about, referring to Boone's comments, which is very interesting from a guy like Aaron Judge, who's usually, the Yankees are very tight-knit. You guys have to say what's on the script here. Don't step out of line, this and that. Be very PC, very professional. Give the boring answer. Aaron Judge usually follows that line. I don't know what he was talking about. I don't think he's seen me throw. That's something along those lines. I'm not trying to read too much into it because I hate tittle tattle. I hate drama. I hate gossip. It's baseball. It is an interesting response. Is it just Judge being a competitor? Is it something more? Because you look at all that's gone on with the team this year, especially during these, let's call it 2 months of bad baseball. It kind of seems like New York has Boone fatigue, if I can speak correctly. Just all the noise, right? You got the New York media calling Aaron Boone out. You got Jeter and A-Rod calling him out on Fox Sports. You got Old Timers Day, which was kind of embarrassing if you're Aaron Boone with all the comments that were being made there. Just the optics haven't looked good for him recently. Ben Rice made some interesting comments a few weeks back. It just seems like guys have been a little more disconnected from their manager this year, which is kind of ironic given he's supposed to be a player's manager. But yeah, it's like there's a disconnect, and this is not really anything new. If you follow this team closely, I think back to the Harrison Bader moment, didn't know he was leading off. And I think the Luis Severino moment, if you go way, way back when he didn't know he was starting or what time the game started. It's not new, unfortunately. And it just, I don't know, man. I think if this thing doesn't end in a championship this year, you got to move on from the guy. I do think we're getting to that point where it's kind of, you're seeing the signs of the beginning of the end. But again, I said I didn't want to read too much into it, and here I am talking about the future of the organization's manager. But those were comments that made me think that. So that was before yesterday, and the Yankees finished off a sweep yesterday. So let's talk about this series. So you only have to go back to Tuesday, the first of this 2-game set, where the Yankees won 13-3. You had the lefty Rodon against the righty Shane Baz. The Yankees killed Shane Baz, who's a good pitcher. He's having a bad year, but the guy's got a hard fastball. He's got great movement on all his off-speed stuff. Struggling this year, and the Yankees pounded him. Overall, they produced 13 runs on 16 hits, 9 home runs, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts. They were 1 for 6 in scoring position. Didn't matter because they scored 6 runs on Baz in 3 innings. Top 1, Judge, Bellinger, and Stanton opened the game up with back-to-back-to-back home runs. Top 2, Jose Caballero, a 2-run shot to right field, just stays fair. Top 3, Jazz Chisholm, solo home run to the gap. Tampa Bay Ray bullpen comes in. 7 runs for the Yankees in their 6 innings. Top 4, Stanton and Rice, back-to-back home runs, so Stanton's second of the game. Top 6, Bellinger hits his second home run of the game. 12-2 Yankees at that point. Top 9, Caballero hits the second home run of the game for him. It's 13-3 Yankees. So you got a lot of cool box scores across. You go to Bellinger. He was 4 for 5, couple of homers, 3 RBIs. Stanton was 2 for 3, couple of homers, a walk, 4 RBIs. Caballero was 2 for 4, couple of homers, a walk, 3 RBIs. Judge 2 for 5 with a bomb, a walk, and an RBI. Jazz 2 for 5 with a homer and an RBI. Ahmed Rosario, who got an at-bat and doubled. So that was your offensive production. On the mound, Carlos Rodon gave you 6 strong innings. Let up just 2 runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, hit a batter, struck out 5, no home runs allowed. Threw 102 pitches, gets the win. Much needed performance from him. He's seeming to get back on track. He is, in my opinion, the ace of the staff because he's always getting the job done when they need him. He shows up. He gets swings and misses. He doesn't allow any hits. Continuing to just be solid this year, man. It's his best season as a Yankee. Got better last year, even better this year. The bullpen goes 3 innings, 1 run. Mark Leiter gets the 7th, no runs, hits a batter. Yerry De Los Santos gets the 8th. He allows 1 run on 2 hits, a walk, and a hit batter. He was a mess. And then Tim Hill got the 9th. No runs, 1 hit, strikes a batter out. And so the Yankees win 13-3. And then you get to yesterday's, whatever you want to call it, roller coaster. The Yankees win 6-4 in 10 innings. The righty rookie Cam Schlittler against the righty Rasmussen. Top of the first, Grisham leadoff home run. Wells hits a solo home run in the fifth. That was the next time the Yankees or anybody scored. Top 8, Grisham, his second home run of the game, makes it 3-0. You're thinking, okay, let's close this thing out. Weaver allows a solo home run in the 8th, makes it 3-1. Whatever, because we have David Bednar to go into the 9th inning and close this thing out. David Bednar was not good. He blows it. He puts a bunch of guys on, allows the big hit that almost left the park and lost the game. Stays in the park, but he blows the save, and all of a sudden it's 3-3 before he's able to escape the 9th. Thankfully, the Yankees end their extra innings on the road curse in the top of the 10th inning right away. Stanton with a 2-run blast to put the Yankees up. And then Wells chimes in with his second home run of the game. I think it was back-to-back. No, they weren't hitting successively. It was a few at-bats later. Wells hits the second home run of his night to make it 6-3. Bottom 10, Devin Williams comes into the game. Don't ask me why. Allows the fake base runner to score because he surrenders a double, but he escapes the jam the rest of the way. Just that one run comes in, gets the save. So the Yankees win 6-4. So 6 runs on 9 hits, 5 of them home runs, 2 walks, 13 strikeouts. They go 2 for 9 in scoring position, but 2 runs and 6 on Rasmussen, and then 4 runs and 4 on the Tampa bullpen. Grisham goes 3 for 5, couple homers, 3 RBIs. Every time you think he's going to slow down a bit, he keeps getting hot. Stanton, the pinch hit home run, 2 RBIs. Wells, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. So 2 for 4 for him. On the mound was Cam Schlittler, and that's who we're going to tip our cap to first in this episode because I thought he was fan-freaking-tastic. Cam Schlittler was the best Yankee starter in this series. It was either him or Rodon, but he goes 6 2/3, no runs, 6 2/3 innings, no runs, 8 strikeouts, just 1 hit, a couple of walks. The only hit was a single ground ball up the middle by Samson, and that was the only hit because he had a perfect game going. Excuse me. Cam Schlittler had a perfect game going until that 7th inning. I think it was 1 out in the 7th inning. Perfect game. And, of course, Michael Kay trying to be cool, trying to let everybody know there's no such thing as a jinx because he doesn't understand fun. Passive-aggressively continuing to say he's throwing a perfect game. And then he gives it up. And then once he gave up that hit, I don't want to say unraveled, but, wasn't perfect after that. I thought that after he put a couple of guys on, when I think it was the lefty Lowe stepping up to the plate, or Lau, I forget which one it is. I didn't love the move to keep Schlittler in versus the lefty there, just because he doesn't have the best pitch mix for lefties, and Weaver was ready, who's got that changeup that he can throw against lefties. Kept him in against the lefty, ended up paying off, and so he finishes with 6 2/3 very strong innings, and he was just fantastic. I mean, I thought the most notable part of Cam Schlittler's performance was how excellent he was with his pitch sequencing. He had the curveball working effectively, so when he's got that fastball that's always there, 99 top of the zone with life, and he plays that with an exceptional curveball, which had great shape last night. It was diving. It's hard to hit him. You aren't going to hit him. You're going to have 1 hit in 7 innings on him. So I think that curveball is key because right now he doesn't have a changeup. So having that curveball to go to lefties with is going to help him. And just playing it off that fastball, the change in speeds there, it's so impressive. He got 19 swings and misses in the game. 11 of them came off the fastball, which is impressive because Tampa can hit the fastball. But again, when you're mixing in that curve, That's what makes it tough to stay balanced against him. And he just continues to be strong. He's 7 starts into his career. He's not had a bad one yet, knock on wood. And he's been so good. I think now there's a legitimate conversation between the 3 Yankee righties on the bottom of that rotation of who's going to get the Game 3 start in the postseason, right? You get to Game 3 of the wild card series, or you get to Game 3 of the ALCS or ALDS. Who's that guy going to be, right? It could easily be Will Warren, who's had a really good rookie season and he's racking up strikeouts. It could easily be Luis Gil, who's been in those moments before, won the Rookie of the Year, guy who throws hard. Or it could be the rookie sensation, Cam Schlittler, who's throwing 100 miles an hour top of the zone and just a tough guy to hit, throws downhill, gets a lot of ground balls. Like, you got 3 very good options that you can choose from. It's a fun storyline to keep track of the rest of the way here. So that'll be a very interesting thing to see play out. Sure, a couple of those guys will be coming out of the bullpen. But yeah, who's going to be that Game 3 starter? It's something I've been thinking about now. But Cam Schlittler making a damn good case now, and he's still got a couple of starts left before the postseason begins. So good job. We're tipping our cap to him. Let's see, how many times have we tipped our cap to Schlittler? 3 times in his 7 starts now. So good job for him. We're also going to tip our cap when we go to the bullpen. Let's see if I can find him here. To Devin Williams. It was certainly not perfect. Wasn't without trouble, of course. It never is. And I did not like the move when you have guys available like Doval and Leiter that you could have went to. Anybody but Williams, I was saying. But he goes to him. And again, it was ugly at first. Gives up the fake base runner to score. But he escapes hell after that with 3 strikeouts using his screwball. And so we're going to tip our cap to him. It's weird how we've tipped our cap to Devin Williams, who's been one of the worst Yankees this year 9 times already. It's weird how that works. But he was good. And for what it's worth, in his last 5, 4 1/3, 11 strikeouts, no runs allowed, just 2 hits and a walk. So very sharp in his last 5. So Devin Williams, we're tipping our cap to you for getting through that and sealing a statement game. I don't know if I want to call that a statement game. I feel like the statement games are coming up, but still sealing the victory off there when you really needed to keep gaining ground. So good job for Dev Williams. And then we'll tip our cap to going to the offense, Giancarlo Stanton, who started in the first game, did not because of the planned day off in this game, but he did appear, and he finishes in these 2 games going 3 for 4, which, because all 3 hits were homers, and he also drew a walk, he had an OPS of 3,800, or I can't fucking speak, because I mean I've never seen an OPS this high for a series. So in 2 games, he had a 3,800 OPS. Let's just call it that. 3,800 OPS. 6 RBIs. He's been going off. Obviously, he looks incredible. We talked about him, I think, last episode. I cannot believe people ever had bad things to say about him, including myself early on in his Yankees career. But I've been off that train for a while, and I've been fully embracing Giancarlo Stanton. Nobody says any more bad things about him anymore, thank God, because people have smartened up. Just the guy's been a total pro as a Yankee, says everything you want him to say, everything you envision about the old classic Yankees from the good old days, that's him, right? He's the embodiment of that. The guy shows up when it matters. He's just a true leader on this team. And there is no single Yankee I want more to win a championship with this team than Giancarlo Stanton. So hopefully he can deliver that for us, because the guy obviously still has it. It didn't look good at the end of the 2023 season, but he has clearly bounced back since. He had a solid year last year, coming back from the injury. went off in the postseason and hasn't slowed down since coming back this year. For a guy who I thought, like, for a point there, remember there was that article in the preseason towards the end of the offseason where people were wondering, is Stanton going to retire? Like, is this it? He's got 2 bad elbows. He can't move his lower body anymore. Is this it? Is he going to call it quits? Is he ever going to come back? To come back like this and look the best you've ever looked in a Yankee uniform, it's like, is this guy using something? Like, it's been that incredible. You go on this guy's StatCast, and obviously he's unqualified, but he's literally like first or second percentile in exit velo, hard hit percentage, barrel, bat speed. Like, he is just ripping the baseball right now. And he's always had ridiculous power, right? But he's got 15 homers, 40 RBIs. That's not shocking. What I like to see is the discipline. He's not chasing like Stanton has a tendency to do. The discipline and the balance up there is really impressive. How he's keeping his lower body intact against off-speed pitches. And he's not swinging at that junk, those righty-on-righty sliders. That's been impressive to me, the fact that he's getting on base with discipline. And I think that helps the fact that he's become a much improved pinch hitter this year. He's been raking when he gets pinch hit appearances. That's got something to do with that. So Giancarlo Stanton, we're going to tip our cap to him for the 6th time this season. So continues to just absolutely rake. And again, for a guy who wasn't here in the first half of the year, to have 6 to tip our cap to him already 6 times just goes to show how remarkable he's been since being back. So good for him. And he has led an incredible Yankee lineup. One that I always make sure to mention it pretty much every episode, but if you're concerned about this Yankees team winning a postseason, winning a World Series, I don't think I can blame you. But if your number one concern is we're not going to score enough runs, I guess you could be concerned about Aaron Judge, right? But I don't know, man. Like, obviously Aaron Judge is a concern in the postseason. He's got to get it done. Got to show us that he can do it. The offense as a whole, just collectively, this lineup is so legit to me. It's so legit to me. Like, they just hit 9 home runs in a game for the 2nd time this season. They have, 14 home runs in a 2-game span? Nobody does that in a series of 3 or 4 games. Like, they just became the first team ever to hit back-to-back-to-back home runs in the first inning twice in a season. And they killed some solid pitching this series. Tampa doesn't throw nobodies out there. That's one thing they can do is they can pitch. I don't know why people ever seriously doubt this lineup, at least as far as the regular season goes. Like, again, the Judge stuff in the playoffs, sure, we'll get there when we get there. But, like, there are people who've been complaining all season about this lineup. And the only people I feel like who do that are like the unrealistic old school purists who don't understand how the rest of the league now operates, where it's like everybody's kind of this home run hitting offense. Nobody really hits for average. I think I saw on MLB team stats, like I think that Houston Astros are 2nd or 3rd in average, and they're hitting like 251, and like the team who's 15th is like 250. It's like everybody's in the same ballpark. Nobody's this team who's going to string together hits anymore. That's not how the league operates. And if you are that type of team, you probably don't have power, right? But it's just, this is how the league works. So if you're complaining about the Yankees getting offense the way they do, no, this is normal. Everybody does this, and the Yankees do it better than everybody else. I just think people who expect them to score 10 runs every night are unrealistic. In a 162, you're going to have valleys. But you look at them, They are full of offensive threats. I mean, how long has it been since we've had depth like this? You know, you look at through the numbers here. I'm going to read some of these numbers. When I say full of offensive threats, I mean Aaron Judge, a 199 WRC plus. Stanton, a 183. Grisham, 131. Belly, 126. Jazz, 125. Rice, 125. So I just listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys who are at least 25% better than league average, right? At least. If you take Judge away, the Yankees are still top 10 in WRC+. They're still top 10 in OPS. They're still top 10 in home runs. So you finally got this lineup that's getting it done from 1 to 9. Do you have a couple of weak spots? Everybody does. Volpe, yeah, he's not a great hitter. Wells, yeah, he's not a great hitter. Everybody's got 1 or 2 guys who aren't great. But the Yankees have 209 home runs this season. That's 21 more than the next team. They have 655 runs scored, which is 2 less than the most in baseball, which is the Dodgers, but they've played 1 more game than the Yankees. The Yankees are top 3 in on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS. They're top 3 in WRC+. They've got a great balance of lefty and righty in there, and they've got depth on the bench that they never had before. Every night, you've got 2 starters coming off the bench. You got bats like Rosario, play multiple positions. He can hit left-handed pitching. Jose Caballero, who's been like what everybody wanted Oswaldo Cabrera to be. That's Jose Caballero. Austin Wells coming off the bench and as a backup catcher. That's not bad. You got it. You got the offense. I'm not worried about the offense. What I'm worried about is the mental breakdowns in big spots, whether it's defensive stuff, base running stuff, the bullpen meltdowns. They've kind of overhauled their bullpen at the deadline. It still doesn't feel like they're clicking. So I'm worried about the bullpen if I'm worried about one part of the team, but not the lineup. Not worried about that lineup. Anyways, that's going to be it. I said we have a short episode. We're about 32 minutes in, so we're going to wrap this one up here. We're not going to do a trivia. We're not going to go to any kind of break. We'll just wrap it up here. So I appreciate you all tuning in. But yeah, the Yankees play the Boston Red Sox for the next 4 games here this weekend. We'll see what happens. They need to win. And if they do that, I'll buy back in. If they don't, can't say I will. But let's go win a series. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you very, very soon. Go Yankees. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.